There may be some movement on reopening the Canada-U.S. border. In fact, officials say it may happen as soon as this summer. CBC's Hilary Johnstone is on the story live from our nation's capital. What are you hearing, Hilary?
Well, Suhana, CBC News has been speaking with the mayors of some border towns and also with a senior federal official who say that this is in all likelihood going to be a multi-phased approach, and that also in all likelihood people will need to be double vaccinated. So what we've been hearing is that June is likely too early, but possibly there could be some movement there by July. Of course, there's been growing calls on both sides of the border for it to reopen as more people are vaccinated and as those cases go down. Now, a short time ago, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was asked about this, and he made it very clear that he had no news to announce today, but he did take note of the fact that June 21st would be the date that those border restrictions are either rolled over or not. So he said several times that he had nothing to announce and that any decision that was made would be based in science and also based on how many people have been fully vaccinated. Take a listen now to the Prime Minister.
It's very clear that even though one dose has allowed us to significantly protect Canadians, to remove many of the pressures from our public health systems, it is still an incomplete protection, and we need people to get the full 2 doses of their vaccines.
The Prime Minister saying several times that he knows how eager people are not only to travel again, but to be reunited with loved ones who might be on either side of that border. But for now, no news from the Prime Minister on when a date might be, when we might expect to hear anything concrete on when that border might reopen.
And there's some news, I know you're tracking, it's coming out of Manitoba. It's regarding some kind of vaccination proof, a card or something. What do you know on that front?
Yeah, that's right. So what we've heard from Premier Brian Pallister is that Manitoba is going to introduce vaccine cards. So how this is going to work is that 2 weeks after a person is fully vaccinated, so they've had both of their doses, they will become eligible to apply for one of these cards. So there's an online portal that you can go on to. You can have both a physical card, but then also a digital version of that card. There's also an option for people who don't have internet access. There's a phone number that they can call into. But the Premier is saying that this will allow Manitobans to travel within Canada, and when they return to Manitoba, they will not have to self-isolate for 2 weeks. Let's take a listen now to the Premier.
With this card, you will be permitted to travel within Canada without having to self-isolate upon your return to Manitoba. You will be exempt from the self-isolating requirements if you're deemed a close contact by public health. In other words, if you get a call from public health notifying you've been in close contact with someone who's had COVID, because you have this card and because it's evidence that you've been vaccinated twice, you won't have to self-isolate as a result.
So the Premier there even holding up that card just to sort of give you an idea of what it will look like. And what he has said is that Manitobans should receive something in return for having gone and rolled up their sleeves and agreed to be vaccinated, that there needs to be some sort of incentive to continue to do that. Now, in terms of who will be eligible, like I was saying, it's 2 weeks after your second shot. You have to have a Manitoba health card and you have to have had the second dose of your vaccine. And then you can go online to that portal, you can apply, you become automatically eligible for the digital version, and then a physical one would arrive in the mail.
Thanks for that, Hilary. CBC's Hilary Johnstone in Ottawa.